very warm welcome back to live coverage from Beijing of the PGL Asia Minor Championships 2017. Time now to head into our second semi-final. In the upper bracket, we're searching for a team that will face Renegades and become the first team to qualify, not for the major, but for the offline qualifier. That's right, there's still a long road ahead for many of these teams, but their journeys will end as well today. 2 teams won't be making it. 2 teams will go through. There's also the small matter of $50,000 on the line as well, and I know the teams want to fight out for that in the grand final, which will take place tomorrow. As I said, we're moving on to our second semi-final. It's an interesting matchup yet again. China versus Australia and New Zealand. This time it's Immunity and Flash that go head-to-head, and we'll start things off with Flash and introduce you to our panel members who've changed a little bit because we've got not an expert in the form of Blair this time round, but a man who's sternly defending his American patriotism. It is, of course, Dust.
Maybe I'll do better from this position as far as things go than the casting position. One can hope. Maybe it's the power of this chair.
I think it could be something to do with that chair. Do you know, when we did Dota in this studio, that chair was cursed.
Oh, okay.
Totally cursed. But here, for some reason, it seems to have developed some sort of wisdom and made people smarter.
At least I had the confidence, Blair, on the other hand, forfeited his normal claim.
I mean, he was, to be fair, in the green room before, he was like, this is China, 2-0, 2-0.
I planted that seed. I planted that seed.
You did, didn't
I
you?
was like, dude, just think of the maps a little bit.
Yeah.
Not so sure about it anymore. I still went for Tyloo, though, but it was very close.
Yeah. As you can see, teams are entering the arena right now to applause from the crowd, being introduced to the local Chinese crowd, and we'll get the second team up there in just a moment. It does give us an opportunity to start things off by talking about the saber-toothed tigered Flash Gaming.
Yeah, interesting lineup for sure. It's a combination of players and a coach from former Tyloo team and VG, and then you have Kaza there, who was a bit of a borrow for the Chinese scene, and so far so good. I think they've been the most complete team in the tournament. Obviously, that was the group stages. Now we go into the big leagues in this tournament. It's going to be best of threes, different ball game altogether. Playing against Immunity, though, I feel like they're going to be the favorites. I don't think there's an angle that I can take, at least, that would make me think otherwise.
Yeah. So you say Flash is the favorite?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that the scary part about it is that we just haven't really seen enough of Flash to really know who they truly are. I mean, they dominated the group stages against Renegades, and Signature didn't allow more than 6 rounds in both of those games. And then all that they've played outside of that is the qualifier, right, where they obviously had no trouble beating some of the other Chinese teams to get here. But other than that, I just haven't really seen them. They haven't been tested yet. Like, I want to see what happens when they're under the gun, when they're under pressure. I think, at least in the Renegades game on Cobblestone, we got to see a little bit of their tactical diversity as far as how they were calling the game. Yeah. But we still haven't truly seen them, I don't think, yet.
What makes me comfortable saying that is the fact that how they just didn't get there were no problems for them to be handling the pressure that Renegades was trying to apply to them. They changed and modified the way they paced their game according to how their opponents were playing, and that, for me, is a great sign. But still, you're right, Dust. I mean, the sample size is very small. Immunity, again, is going to be a rather aggressive side, so I think that's, again, going to be an interesting dynamic here for this game.
Yeah, let's talk about that Immunity team. You can see them, they're getting ready to go into battle right now. The usual Australian war cry will come out from those 5 players and their coach as well. And their lineup obviously tainted a little by the loss of a player, but actually Wizards stepped in with absolutely no problem. Almost been the best player, arguably, in that team, hasn't he?
Yeah, you could say so. I mean, Dust was saying how his movement is very crisp, but I think I agree with that. Mechanically very skilled player. He's been putting up the numbers as well. Overall, just interesting lineup. I mean, we haven't seen these guys all that much at all in any international scene for a long time. So, yeah, cool to see that they still have the firepower.
Yeah. Also, at least Mongolia will still be represented inside of this, as it is going to be Aircast, the in-game leader for Immunity, who studies in Australia, and obviously very good English and stuff like that. And he's a part of this team. He's also one of their better players as well, despite, usually there's always that kind of thought, in-game leader, probably not that great of a fragger. He's definitely one of those in-game leaders that does do pretty well from that position from a output standpoint on stats. So, yeah, I definitely think he's a guy to keep an eye on. He has a lot of important roles, and he does well with them.
It's changed in the last year or so, isn't it? No longer in-game leaders can be that bottom fragger. It doesn't seem that way. You've got Fallen, obviously, is the prime example of that, as someone that does almost everything in the team. And they don't get away with that so much these days, so it's good that he's putting up the numbers. In the sense that Renegades have already overturned Tyloo, Natu, as the team that won their group, can Immunity do the same thing?
I don't think Immunity has the pedigree as Renegades does. Even though I'm pretty sure Dust thinks that Immunity is probably better than Renegades at this point in time, considering how Renegades was doing in the group stage outing. But in my opinion, still in the long run, I feel like they're not going to have as good of a chance here as Renegades does, just purely because them having a coach that has just massive experience. He's seen Counter-Strike from a lot of angles. First of all, Immunity doesn't have that luxury going for them. So a lot of stars would have to align for them to be able to do good here going further.
Okay, what is the key to victory for Flash then?
I mean, the thing is, Flash has yet to fail, I guess is really the point there. So as long as they continue to do that, then they're great. For Immunity, I have seen them fail, and that was that Inferno match where they just got absolutely bodied by Tyloo, and they did it in the worst of ways, like making super basic errors, like not landing a smoke on CT spawn, attacking B on Inferno. It's so basic. Even if you don't line up it in a complex fashion, you just jiggle peek and put it down. And they lost so many key rounds due to that, which is kind of mind-boggling. So I've seen the good and the bad from Immunity, but they did well enough to get here, obviously beating Mongols, and so props to them for that. At least they grinded their way here. But yeah, so far I haven't seen Flash crumble.
Okay, map vetoes are in. You can see them on your screen right now. We've got Nuke banned out by Flash. Immunity have removed Cobble, and that means that Flash have gone with Inferno. Immunity have gone with Overpass. And the final match, should we need it, will be DE Train.
Yeah, Overpass from Immunity seems like it's their go-to pick. It's been that 30s tournament. We've seen them play relatively okay on the map. And Inferno going for Flash, there's a lot of studying for Flash that they could do from Immunity. They've seen a lot of rounds from how they play on this map, so I'm pretty sure it comes down to them. I'm very, very sure that they do a lot of the studying going into their matches, so they'll know what to be expecting from the Australian side.
Yeah, do you think any information sharing has gone on, Dust, between the Australian teams or the Chinese teams?
Maybe. I mean, I think it's more of just scouting each other by watching the film and being able to pick up on your own. Karsa, I know for sure, is the type of guy who will go through the demos and will make sure he picks every little thing apart. And the thing is, we haven't seen Flash play Inferno yet this tournament, but they're really good online. Like, they won it several times to qualify for this tournament, whereas we saw Immunity have their struggles with Inferno yesterday. So I think that it's a solid pick from Flash. It seems to be one of the maps they're really relying on at the top of their map pool, so why not go with your comfort pick? And for Immunity, I think it's just trying to make Overpass work. Will be interesting. We don't have too much information about Flash and Overpass, so they won't have much scouting info. Meanwhile, the only times that Immunity ever played Overpass with Wizard was actually at this tournament, and they did well enough in it, right? They won it twice. A little bit tougher time against Mongols, though, the first time around, but they got the job done. And so that could be a map they could force a third map series out of. Yeah,
okay. Sure. Key players to watch, Natu, on both teams?
I'm really looking forward to Fancy or Summer, however you want to put it. He's really shown some glimpses here in this tournament. It's done relatively well, being rated as the star from China, but it's yet to really showcase it in the LAN tournament. So he's my go-to guy here to see how he does here in this game.
Okay, for you?
I think you could go either way, like Attacker or Summer over on that side. I think a map like Inferno is gonna be a little bit harder for Kaze to do it, especially on T side. But Overpass will be like grounds for him to maybe really show himself, and he's kind of like the oddball out, so to speak, coming from a different country to a Chinese team. So I'll actually say Kaze. I want to see what he's really made of in a series like this.
You want to see what fragging power he has?
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than just the strategical.
And also, like, how can he, as an opper, really dictate the game? Because for me, an opper, like we've seen previously in this tournament as well, is the kind of an opper that not is only mobile, but also dictates the pace. He takes angles and peaks and kind of reads the situations like he's always 2 steps ahead of his opposition. So really looking forward to it if he can manage to pull that off.
Just while we're waiting for the game to start, which I guess we're a couple of minutes away from, if all starts, why don't we bring in our commentary team? I've got a question for all 4 of you, our 2 commentators and our 2 panel members as well. And that is, who's been the best player so far for you guys?
Alrighty.
You actually call Blair at an odd moment as he took his headset off.
An odd moment?
Yeah.
Is there ever a good moment with Blair around?
What kind of an odd moment we're talking about here?
So I asked a question, just for the lazy among you in the commentary booth. Who's been the best player so far at this tournament?
Wow, that's a tricky question. I'd still say Bentet, although Nifty didn't really show up. I think Bentet has been the most consistent performer. Like, he's just been out of this world so far.
Okay. Any disagreement from Dust in particular?
I
know you like arguing with Blair, so...
No, I'll let him have this one. All right. I think it's pretty fair. Okay. You'd be hard pressed to name someone else. Maybe Nifty could definitely be up there as a big series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he could be the kind of the revelation of this tournament type of a player. Obviously, he's been up there, playing, but like really having that big performance that he's had over multiple maps is something I don't think anyone of us really expected. So, I guess between those two right now.
I mean, Nifty's had the play of the tournament so far.
Well, 100%.
Yeah, unfortunately, we
was too much of a play of the tournament.
He broke everything. He broke absolutely everything. Good luck, gents, and have fun in the second semi-final. We're sure we'll enjoy it just as much as you do.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. I'm really looking forward to this, actually. I think Flash had a phenomenal first impression. I think it's safe to say, and a lot of people that maybe didn't know them as much as yourself, or people that are avid fans of the Asian scene, but they have an opportunity now to get one step closer to getting themselves across to another qualifier for the major.
Absolutely.
But Immunity do stand in their way, and Immunity showed signs yesterday of being quite a formidable opponent. Mongols were swept aside convincingly.
Yeah, true, but the Mongols are not Flash. And from what we've seen of Flash, even though Tyloo looked really impressive in the group stage as well, the thing with Flash is I really didn't see any small little mistakes. Like, the small little things like overpeaking, maybe going for fights that you really don't need to take. I really didn't see any of this from Flash Gaming, unlike Tyloo, who had moments where even though they were winning convincingly, like against, I think it was 7-6-4-2 on Cash, there were a couple of rounds where they're just, getting a little bit over-aggressive, a little too overconfident, and we haven't seen that yet from Flash. And to the detriment of Immunity's game plan, I don't think anyone in the scene has any idea about Flash Gaming's map pool. Like, they know they're really good in Inferno, so I'm expecting Inferno to go the way of Flash. But then Immunity, they've gone for Overpass, and I think the final map, what was it? Train, yeah. I really haven't seen Flash on this. Like, so I'm kind of in the dark as how they're going to perform. Inferno, though, they're really strong on this. They haven't lost a single game. This is the map they keep picking when they played the Asia qualifier, and they really have a game plan here. But then again, Immunity did destroy Mongols yesterday on Inferno. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, if you ask me.
No, I totally agree with you on that one. I think coming into this today, though, my gut reaction, my instinct, obviously before we saw the veto and how it played out, would be that Flash should convincingly win this game. That, sure, Immunity put up a really good performance against Mongols, but apart from that, they did look a bit shaky themselves. It wasn't exactly a perfect way through to this stage of the semi-finals. So I think I would still go with Flash, but maybe a 2-1 instead of a 2-0 clean sweep. Would you agree with that, or do you think Immunity actually have a shot at even winning this game?
I really don't see Immunity winning this one, to be very honest. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either if it went to a 2-1 for Flash. Although general consensus would be it's going to be 2-0 wipeout. But here we go. I think we should be going live here. Map number 1, Inferno, and obviously Immunity getting the side pick, starting on the CD side here. And we do have Urcast. He's gone for the kit and the smoke. The rest of them. Graz Faction, he hasn't bought up anything yet. This is interesting. Probably going for an early op-buy, perhaps?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. He did have a pretty solid performance with the AWP yesterday, so we know he has that in his arsenal. We know he has that in his locker. But we are currently waiting for a couple of technical things. We've just been informed that he's going to go for the Kevlar, so it's not going to be the all-out wait. As obviously that Kevlar up against the Glocks is incredibly important, but yeah, it's nothing really out of the ordinary. Nothing's really catching my eye here. This is standard. This is very standard CS on both teams in terms of the opening purchase.
Yeah, Urcast, the only Mongolian representative left at the playoffs as well, knocking out his countryman yesterday. Immunity really did surprise me yesterday, like when they played in that in the best of 3 against the Mongols. They just seemed to have woken up. It looked like a very different team. They got the read perfectly right in Mongols. They were dictating how the action was going to be on Inferno, and even in the individual plays, like Moe, Burn, are you okay? He just went completely insane. In a pistol round, I think they started on CD side, if I remember this right, and Burn got a quad kill in Banana and in the B bomb site. So Flash Gaming, knowing Karsa, he would have watched that demo the entire night, analyzed, broken down whatever they did, and they should be ready for this. So a couple of flashes on Flash Gaming, a smoke on Karsa. The rest of them, it's just Glocks and armor, and likewise for Immunity, it's going to be Urcast, who's going to be the utility guy. As I love these flybys.
It is one thing that the PGL are exceptionally good at. Well, one of the many things, I should say. But yeah, Bernard UK did get himself a 4K, as you mentioned, but also an overpass. This guy's a monster in pistol rounds of the USP. And who knows, maybe he's going to rinse and repeat in this time around. He's going to be setting himself up. Standard formation, 2-3 split. all the terrorists very centralized in the map, majority of them in the banana. And the bomb taking the lead, but they haven't fully committed just yet, Blair. They're just biding their time.
Absolutely. Lovey as well, just spotting towards second mid, alt mid, just looking for any push. And Immunity, they're playing a little passively. It's a little different approach from what we saw of them against the Mongols yesterday, where it was just balled out aggression. They were taking the fight. They were very confident about it. This is a very default setup coming out from Immunity. 2 guys over in B, and it's going to be, well, Burn playing from new box. He's got Urcast as well. Urcast with the kit and the smoke. So even if he does get taken down, the kit's going to be right there. He's going to make first contact. Rattles off a couple of bullets. He's going to fall back. The smoke's going to rain in as well. It's going to come down to Burn, and he's going to get immediately taken up by Attacker. And Urcast trying to take the fight, trying to get the kill. He gets a fadeaway shot in the summer, or Fancy as we used to know him back then. So it's a 4v4. Bomb is going to get planted as Lovey is still holding the line here.
2 beautiful headshots, though. Pretty much just tipping the balance in favor of Flash Gaming in the blink of an eye. Gratisfaction and Wizard have their work cut out for them, especially seeing as Gratisfaction's now been spotted alongside Wizard. And you got to feel it is just a matter of time, just delaying the inevitable now. The first round will go to Flash Gaming. Very quick take, the only casualty being Summer.
Yeah, and that's what happens, right? When you play that passively, when you go for the default setup, unless your player is in the B bomb side, unless they get at least a couple of kills, it's going to be a nightmare to go for the retake, especially in a pistol round. Like, you don't have that much utility to work with. They had that one kit which was dropped. That's it. They had no flashes, no Molotovs, and then Lovey with a crazy double kill over there in near new old construction. So 1-0 to Flash Gaming and Immunity. They're going to go for the just the pistol buys. The Eagles coming out a little different from what you're used to seeing, at least in Asia, where teams definitely go for the force buy every single time. And a cheeky little boost coming out as well over in Banana. Ooh. Yeah, Urcast is going to be falling back, taking a little bit of damage. Not that much invested into this round. What do you think about it? Like, teams CDs going for the rather just upgrading pistols, not really going for the armor buy in the second round. It's something which you see quite often nowadays. I don't think we see much of it in Asia, though. They're still going by the older route, where they just go for the armor buy.
Affords them more utility going through into the next round, where they will be getting weapons, of course. And I think in a map like Inferno as well, if you have the Eagles, you have the 5-7, you don't necessarily need the Kevlar, because you can have this hit and run style, as we saw there. There's the boost up into Banana, trying to land the 1 dig, and then back away afterwards. So completely understand this. Just means that in round 4, when they do, we assume they're going to lose this one.
Yeah.
Maybe something mad happens, but in round 4, when they do start to get some rifles in the way, they're going to have more incendiaries, more flashes, more nades, and that's very important for a map like Inferno.
So here comes the execute into the B bomb side. Lovey was lurking around towards mid, and now he's going to fall back. Burn and Urcast with the 2 deagles. It's going to be Attacker opening things up, but Urcast with a great 1 dig finds one, does a lot of damage as well. Not able to get a second kill, though, as Kaze is going to drop him with the Mac 10 of his. 4v3, and Gratisfaction is spamming through the smoke. And this looks unlikely here. Kaze, he's got the Mac 10, so he can just be, pushing in, trying to farm some cash as well for that inevitable op of his.
Bombs out. Another tasty 1-tap, though, and this is all money in the bank for that AWP fund. Finally, Gratisfaction will fall down, but into a 2-on-2, way better than anyone would have predicted them. And in actual fact, it's got 1 step better. Casa, all that remains now for Flash Gaming. Sure, the bomb's planted, and it's a very unlikely Wizard's going to get the defuse, but he has got the kill, and he's going to be charging towards the site as it detonates. But can he save the AK?
Yeah, he just might. Yep, there we go.
He will. That is a huge take from Immunity. All 5 players dead for Flash the Gaming. They all have to come back into this round now, replenishing those weapons, and Immunity have an AK to play off now. I wouldn't necessarily expect to see them full purchase behind this, because I think they would want to prioritize the likes of an AWP and better assault rifles. But now they have choices to make.
Absolutely, and with that AK, I wouldn't be surprised if Wizard, yeah, he has gone for the armor buy, because they went for the full eco. They had a little bit of money, so Wizard's going to be an important guy this round for Flash Gaming to lose all the members. They lose a couple of AKs as well, so they're going to still, buy up 3 AKs, the UMP onto Summer. That's Fancy, and Lovey with the Mac 10. So he's going to have to go for a fact-finding mission, find out where the AK-47 is playing, and try and dictate what they're going to do based on where Wizard is going to be playing from. And Wizard, though, he's playing all the way from Arch. He's got backup as well. Again, the Deagles on Moe and Urcast. And this time around, it looks like Flash Gaming, they're not going to waste any time here trying to feel out Banana, and that could be risky because we do see 2 guys pushing in for Banana, Urcast and Burn. And now they know what the AK is. His question is, are they going to fall back? And yes, they will, but 2 guys are going to be waiting for them. And it's going to be Burn who gets the kill. Lovey with the Mac 10. He completely demolishes them, and that's going to be the bomb site there.
Yeah, huge spike in money for Lovey. Additionally, they're going to be able to go across to the side. Gratisfaction, with only a USP, can tap all he wants through the smoke. He's not going to be getting any kills. And the bomb a little bit slow to be planted, but there we have it. Gratisfaction hiding in construction will be put out of his misery by Lovey, who gets a third Mach 10 kill, but will be getting wrecked again off another Deagle, this time in the hands of Moe. But it's very reminiscent of the previous round, although not quite as solid from Unity. They put up a valiant attempt, they get a couple kills. Ultimately, though, Flash Gaming do pick up the round. But this is the moment they've been waiting for. Now they can really tee off. This is the reason they didn't full purchase in that second round. They haven't gone for an AWP, which I'm a little bit surprised by. They had enough funds for it. Instead, full M4s, full utility.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that as well, because Gratisfaction obviously would want him to start wielding the big green gun. And for Flash Gaming, yeah, they lost a couple of guys the previous round, but it was just the UMP and the Mach 10, so they're going to be a little bit more happier about that. But if you look at the money for Flash, although the 3-0 up, Immunity can just turn this around very, very quickly indeed. And this time around, we're going to have some aggression coming out from Banana. As Immunity, 3 guys just nading the bottom of Banana, but Flash Gaming, they're not going to aggress him, they're just feeling it out, trying to figure out what Immunity are planning on their rifle buy here. Lovey, the jack of all trades for Flash Gaming, the oldest player in the team as well. He's the guy who will see doing all the dirty work for the team, going for the entries, going for the aggro lure, trying to get information for his team. You know, trying to set up their star players like, you know, Kaze, like Attacker and Summer. In the meantime, Kaze, take his name, and has taken a lot of damage as well. They're down 37 HP with still over a minute left on the clock. And Immunity, interesting decision here. They did have Banana control, and Burn is playing. Yeah, he's playing from a top car. I thought it actually fallen back to the site there. So a lot of map control being gained by Immunity, and with a minute remaining on the clock, they can actually catch Flash Gaming off guard here. They can walk into the trap.
Indeed, Flash Gaming really haven't got any information for themselves. There's still an incendiary as well for Burnout UK, but he's going to get plucked out by Summer. The one tap will be landing, and now, whereas everything before suggested it would be a bit of a struggle, things have opened up nicely. There is a bit of a gap in the smoke, though. Nurcast is going to make most of that one as the flashbang lands, goes for the spray, not able to get the second, but the bomb was dropped for a few moments, been picked up and will be pushed onto the site for the plant. But Immunity have a chance at a potential retake.
Still a man far, far away. And that is Moe. Gratisfaction and Wizard just waiting for him to come in. They still have 3 flashbangs remaining to work with here. But some pretty decent post plants being set up by Flash Gaming. 4v3. And yeah, they're just going to fall back here. They know they have a kit. They don't have any Molotovs to push out any of the guys. And Fancy's in a great position. And especially without a Molotov, that it would be pretty much suicide if they're walking to the side for that retake. Yeah. So 4-0 to Flash Gaming. That's the thing with that particular play, when you just keep one guy over in Banana, although you do get the map control, the second he gets taken down, and that just one kill from Fancy, just one shot to the head, and boom, that's it. The round's done and dusted. Love even getting the kill on the Wizard. So if they had 3 M4s in play for the next round, they could have probably gone for the buy for the Force. But 2 M4s...
It's tenuous now, isn't it? Because they could still go for it, but it is going to be maybe a couple of pistols extra. Instead, they're going to be equalizing the economy down to 2,000 across the board. So it does afford them a couple of Deagles and a CZ with Kevlar again, and we've already seen that they're very capable with these weapons. But as you highlighted, if it's 3 M4s, you definitely expect them to pull the trigger and have a full purchase, which is going to sting, especially considering that Flash Gaming, already on the T side of Inferno, off to a cracking start. 4-0 is a very formidable start for them.
Absolutely. And the thing with Immunity is when they ban the maps, I think they ban the weak map rather than trying to ban their opponent's best maps. And that's usually what happens when you have no clue about their opponent's map pool. And okay, Attacker taking down Wizard through the wall, crispy clean. Pretty wall bangable spot, and that's the problem with this version of Inferno, is it's so wall bangable in that spot. So even if you're in eco and you have CZs, you want to hold that close angle. You want to set up a crossfire, but you know they can pretty much just keep spamming that spot for like about 30 seconds, and if you're unlucky, boom, you just wreck there. So 2 men down already. The 2 M4 still in play, however, and Flash Gaming, they haven't lost a single man. So this round should go the way of Flash as well, making it 5-0. And look at the defense; it's just spread so thin.
Absolutely. Gratisfaction over on the A side of the map by himself, and Pitt still 3/4 a minute to play with for Flash Gaming to pretty much just poke and probe and see where the weaknesses lay. And now it seems like they are going to start congregating over on the A side. Now, Gratisfaction is a solid player. Is he solid enough to take down 4 players by himself? I'm not so sure, especially now that his position has been compromised. He pop flashing his way out. This is buying up valuable time, and this is a valiant attempt. Goes in for a third, not going to happen. And now A will be planted, and considering that Immunity have an M4 and quite a bit of equipment value in their back pocket, they're going to just want to save. There's no need to go for this one, but Bowie's lost his head.
Bowie's lost his head. Burn. He's just going to fall back holding that M4 of his. So Flash make it 5 rounds in a row here. And Immunity, yep, we'll be seeing the second rifle buy coming out. And this time around, I do imagine that Gratisfaction will be wielding the big green gun, trying to get some picks. Because nothing's going their way right now. They're not playing very reactive. They're not really going for actual map contestation. I'm curious to see what they have in store for us in the next round.
I mean, you think so, right? They've been on the receiving end of battering. Nothing's really been working for them. This is where you change things up. And he had some huge highlight reel-worthy moments yesterday. So I would like to see him pick up the AWP. He's got 6.7k, and there we have it. He can get an AWP, decent amount of nades. He's going to skimp out on the kit, but not to worry. There's 3 other players that have that on his team. Now, let's have a look at his spawn. How is he looking? He's got a relatively decent one for mid, but I'm not sure if he'd go for the aggressive peak.
Yeah, that could be risky because they don't know that Kaze, you know, Kaze is just bought an AK-47, of course, but if he'd gone for the AWP, it would be risky. And he's actually going for it. Oh, no, just going to cross one over. Ralls off a shot. Gonna miss it. And Flash Gaming. Oh, that is just unfortunate for Gratisfaction. I like what he did, just trying to go for the play, trying to get a pick, at least let that AWP work, but attacker ready and waiting for him. Rips his head clean off. And Summer is waiting as well. This is looking...
Yeah, that was a matter of millimeters away from giving him a head cut off. I was going to say a haircut there, but a head cut off works too, I suppose. A bullet will do that to your face. English, sometimes not quite so easy.
It's hard. It's a hard language.
Gratisfaction's AWP is going to be picked up by Lovey, just to add insult to injury.
I think he threw that away. Did he? Yeah,
oh,
he
may
hit
have
it.
thrown it outside the
Yeah,
app so the CTs couldn't get to it.
Threw it away. That's pretty smart. So 4v5. Still 2 guys in the site though. So it's going to be the way. Burn completely blinded, taking a lot of damage. Attacker with a spray. He's going to get the kill on Urcast. Summer's going to find Burn. Are you okay? He is not okay. He's going to be taken down, and Moe and Wizard left in a 2v4. Not looking good as they're going to run away from here. Trying to at least hold on to these 2 guns, but okay then. Moe trying to get some exits. He gets another one at the attacker. Not sure that's that advisable, though. He should be trying to hold on to his guns here, because money, I don't think, is going to be a big problem for Flash Gaming. At the moment, Kaze! What a shot at the Wizard! And Moe alone here, trying to stay alive, just keep at least this gun in contention going to the 7th round, rather. And he just might be able to do that.
Yeah, it's looking likely. Kaze hasn't decided to push up round the back. He's just chilling out in second mid for the time being. Now Moe is going to be charged down, but has the positional advantage and will drill Summer in the head with his 7.62 round. That being said, though, it's small victories. It's a drop in the bucket. I mean, they're still getting demolished 6-0.
They can go for the buy. Yep, that is exactly what they're going to do, but... they need this is a very different immunity from what I saw yesterday. I feel like they're giving too much respect to Flash Gaming. And even when they did go for the aggression, like, for example, Gratisfaction pushing into apps to get that shot, it was just like one guy going in. Yesterday when we saw them, it was like, you know, they were playing the buddy system really well. They're pushing in together, using the flashes and whatnot. But this time around, 6-0 to Flash. I know it's a map pick, but on the T side, especially after seeing Immunity wreck Mongols yesterday, 62 was the scoreline. This is very surprising indeed. Moe is going to get caught off guard by Karsa, and Flash Gaming just speeding things up right now, just barreling into the A bombs. And just one man in the site, and it's Wizard playing from Graveyard. They haven't checked the corner yet, but he's going to be spotted out. Karsa rips his head off. 3v5. Bomb's going to get planted. Should be another safe call coming in here.
And it's something that we discussed yesterday as well when Immunity were just having their way with Mongols, that they seem so aggressive, they seem so confident, like nothing could really put them off kilter. They were playing at their pace, they were dictating the pace of the action. In this game, they've been so timid. We saw against Mongols that they were pushing down Banana. They had Bernard UK, for example, nearly at the fork road where the T-steps comes into play with mid. smoking that down, getting full banana control. We haven't really seen that so far from them. They even pushed down mid a couple times with nades, like taking a leaf out of Tyloo's playbook. We haven't seen them even think about that so far, so I can't help but feel that they are almost their own worst enemies at this stage. Take nothing away from Flash Gaming, they are playing phenomenally well, but this is a mere shadow of the immunity that we saw yesterday, and finally the tactical timeout has been called.
About time. And yesterday, if you remember it as well, when Mongols on the T side, so many rounds where the guys at Banana, like Burn and whoever was playing with them, would just push down Banana and wrap him from behind and just shut down Mongols before they had a chance to do anything. This time, the Flash, they're like a well-oiled killing machine right now.
Yep.
It's very, very impressive stuff coming out from Flash early on. Karsa, the ex-coach of Tyloo, the guy behind the success they had last year in the server as in-game leader, and he's got some really, really solid players to work with. Kaze from Malaysia, one of the best oppers in Asia. I mean, Asia's ever seen in CSGO. Then we have Attacker, Fancy, ex-Tyloo Stars. You got Lovey, one of the most experienced players in China as well. Ex-VG Gaming, he played with Savage and TV and all these guys. And the money as well, like, they're sitting on an average of, what, $8,000 on at least most of them, apart from Lovey. And 7-0, this is looking pretty rough here. Immunity, they're going to go for the buy, though. Three M4s, a couple of UMPs. They've skimped on the weaponry just so they have that incendiaries to work with. But we haven't really seen them do anything with it.
No, that's a very fair point that you raised. And I mean, collectively, they only have 15 kills, and we're getting into the 8th rounds. They're averaging like 2 kills a round right now, which obviously is not fantastic news if you're a CT. That being said, are they going to play more aggressive? How are they going to be filtering out after that tactical timeout? It looks like more of the same. Maybe that was just a mind reset, just to try and collectively not let this map get away from them. I mean, it is 7-0. That is a brutal start. It looks terrible, but they can bring this back. We've seen teams do this before. I just worry for them if they go back into their default, though. It hasn't been working.
And now Kaze with the op as well. That's going to be another factor they have to contend with. And Flash Gaming, they're pretty much doing the same thing again. They get control of Banana. Sometimes they go for it early on. This time around, they're going for it early on. And like you said, Immunity, they took the tactical timeout, but it's literally virtually almost the same setup they had the previous few rounds. So, again, no aggression coming out, just playing very default, giving up a lot of map, a lot of real estate here. And Flash Gaming, they're going to take full advantage of this. 5 guys gathering up towards Banana here. They're going to be going for this B execute. And it's going to be Summer Fancy leading the way with an AK-47 of his.
I've seen this flash before from Bernard UK, and again, it's going to be so potent. Summer couldn't see what hit him. Now it's up to Urkas. Can he get these kills? To be fair, he did a great job. 2 kills to him. But again, it's going to be Flash Gaming who push their way through into the site and try and get this plan.
Oh my god, that's just unlucky. Lovey actually tried to block the shot there from Gratisfaction, went through him and got the kill. And Gratisfaction saving the round there, picks up a double kill. And Immunity, they finally, well, I think it was just down to the fact that the guys in the site got 3 kills, which is something which they never succeeded. I mean, they never did in the previous round. So 7-1 to Immunity, but here's the problem. Money is not a problem at all for Flash Gaming. They're going to buy up, and they can probably buy up the next couple of rounds as well very, very comfortably. For Immunity, though, they keep 2 guys alive. And that means the money is still looking pretty dire, and they can immediately get reset as well. So this is going to be a very crucial run indeed for the Australians.
Definitely, and I think a lot of that came down to timing as well with Bernard UK's flashbang. It was perfect. It landed on 2 or 3 players that were all looking to force their way into the site, and it's hard to see them getting that consistently. So it has to come down now to these rifle rounds. The open play, Gratisfaction moves to mid, looks for the fast shot through the smoke, not quite going to connect. And Flash Gaming are pushing into apps once again.
Mixing it up a lot. They've hit Banana quite a few times to be bomb site, and now, again, Immunity. Pretty much the same setup, although over at B they are playing from a different angle. They're playing from CD spawn side rather than from playing inside a site. But if you look at the A bomb site setup, like, they have no eyes on mid. They have no eyes on apps, and a Flash Gaming just come bursting. And one thing I've noticed of them is they are coordinated as hell, but it's going to be Wizard gets the first kill, not able to get the second. Attacker's going to get the refrag in. And are they going to continue pushing in? The Flames, the perfect beat from Moe, goes for the spray, gets to kill an Attacker. 3v4 now. They have the man advantage, but it's going to be Karsa and Fancy replying back real quickly. The A bomb site, still the guy in the side though, and it's going to be Karsa just completely destroying them, and it's going to be all down to Burn. Are you okay? In a 1v2 bomb down, this is not looking pretty at all.
It really is, and Immunity did so many things right in that round, but they got out-traded where it mattered the most on the site. They put down an incendiary and a flashbang onto short, allowing Urcast to rotate all the way around onto Library. He gets instantly drilled the second he peeks around the corner. And now Burn UK has a decision to make. He doesn't have a kit. The time is already running pretty scarce. If he doesn't find a kill in the next few seconds, you have to feel he backs away, and he has the same thought. He's out to that. Flash Gaming have just reset immunity. That is the worst case scenario for the CTs.
Absolutely, the money is in the dumpster, and this is, you got to feel for immunity. They took the time out. They won a round, finally in the first round, and Burn and Flash is like, all right, back you go. 8-1 to Flash. Immunity. What are they going to do here? They just have to go for a full eco. There's nothing much. I don't want to see a force coming out from them at this point.
Oh, you're going to be triggered then, mate.
Oh, God.
You are going to be triggered. They did have about 4 to 5k on Moe, I think, which is why they've ended up rummaging together an AWP purchase. It may just be a case that they're like, it's already 8-1 against us. We have to start winning rounds.
And they also would have anyways gone for the double eco. So, yeah, all right. Let's see what they have here. But Burn and Moe with the AWP this time around. Of course, they do have 2 AWPers. It's Moe. He's pretty handy with the big green gun as well. One of the more experienced players in this team. And Urcast with a 5-7 can be deadly at that range. And they're going to be looking for contact plays here. 3 guys in Banana. And they're going to be facing off against Fancy and Karsa. Taking the sweet time. They have the utility to work with Molotovs, flashbangs, smokes, and they're going to be expending that, trying to figure out what immunity are up to. I don't think they would know necessarily that they've gone for the force buy, and Urcast playing very close here. Great flashbang. Then he's going to get taken down. What a flashbang. But Wizard pushing in. Gets a refrag. But still, 4v4.
I'm going to say I love that Molotov. It actually stops him from picking up the AK-47 while the terrorists were in transition. Moe, though, has put the AWP to use. This is looking up for Flash Gaming. Now smoke is down. He can go for the AK. He's picked it up. He has Kevlar. And now, it should be mentioned that Immunity are in the driver's seat. They don't have much utility, but they have weapons going for them.
Yeah, this gamble, if this does work out, it could be something that really desperately needed. But still got Kazi alive, Karsa, and Attacker as well. They're going to be going for this ace bomb side hit. And Immunity, I think, do they have the right idea? They have a guy, I think that's Moe with the AWP. He's going to get the first kill. Needs to get away here as Karsa is going to get dropped, leaving it down to Kazi and Attacker. They have controlled the bomb side. The bomb yet to go down, however. Kazi trying to pick it up. Out of a shot through the smoke. Not able to find it quite right. Gets the bomb down. And he has Attacker in the pit, the best position to play this post-plant. So, retake coming in. This is a round Immunity need to win here.
Absolutely. This is massive. This could be the beginning of the end if they were to lose it. It would put them in a horrible place economically, and Moe has missed his chance. He doesn't die for it, though. Down to 6. I believe he got tagged up by Kaze's AWP. He's going to go in for another one. Kaze is going to be very close, but not close enough. And Immunity have done it. They actually have picked up the round. It was close, but a second one on the board. And now they can start to get that economy working in their favor rather than against them.
Yeah, Kaze missing a couple of pretty comfortable shots, if you ask me. Maybe the nerves, not so sure there. But yeah, Immunity do finally get the second round on board, and that too off the back of a force buy. Keeping 3 guys alive, that's pretty important as well. For Flash Gaming, though, the money is slowly dwindled down here. It's they don't have much cash to work with, so this round, if Immunity are able to like string at least a couple more rounds together here, they can easily at least have a fighting chance when they go back to the T side here in Inferno. But Flash Gaming still very much firmly in the driver's seat. They still look very comfortable, and now we see the aggression coming out from Immunity, and it's going to be Wizard gets the first kill, and he will not get traded. Actually, no, he does get taken down by Lovey, but not before Gratisfaction does drop Fancy here. Again, the man advantage going the way of Immunity very early on.
Getting the opening picks is so crucially important. These are things that they simply weren't getting for the first 7 or so rounds when they were getting battered and bruised. So giving themselves advantages here and there as Lovey has pushed through onto short, and Sendry's going to greet him. Has to turn tail and go back towards mid. There's still a lot of time to play with though, Blair. 1:15. They're in no great rush.
True, and they are taking it slow here, although Lovey, Karsa, and Attacker pretty far apart. And the Attacker wielding the AWP. That's a funny thing about Asian teams. You notice, like, almost everyone can just pick up the AWP and start wielding it. And Lovey trying to be sneaky on the lurk there, but Urcast ready and waiting for him, leaving it all on the Burn, all on the B bomb side. He's alone here, so if they take him down, this is a doable round for Flash, but they need to hurry up a little bit. Burn spots out the smoke. He's going to spot the first guy out, doesn't he? Did not see him. That's interesting. But he spots him out. They haven't seen him yet. Burn's going to get the kill on Karsa. It's a 1v4 attacker with the op. Not a weapon he's that comfortable with. And the bomb is down as well. 30 seconds on the clock. This is going to be round number 3 for Immunity. Although attacker can still try doing something here. Trying to push and get that pick. Trying to just take a fight, get something to work with. He finds one. Looking for more, but it's going to be Urkaz going to peek around the corner. Takes him down. 8-3. Flash Gaming might finally be forced to go for an eco.
Yep. You definitely think so. This would be certainly a way for Immunity back in if Flash Gaming started to make very poor decisions with their economy, but they're going to go for CZs, buying down to $1,000. So actually more of a half buy than anything else. They have 2 rounds of loss bonus coming in, so they are quite dangerous. But what I'm really curious about, and obviously this is just a personal preference thing, but they have 3 CZ wielding players on the T side. Typically, you're wanting that Tech 9 for the run and gun style. CZ is not quite as proficient.
Asia loves the CZ. I've seen them pull off some crazy. Like I had the same question. Like why don't you just equip the Tech 9? You know, just run and gun, use it. And I've spoken to quite a few of the players, and they're like, "Nah, we're good with the CZ." And you might be surprised with the stuff they pull off that. And it's gonna be Gratisfaction with the op all alone towards Banana. This could be risky here. Oh, he spots out a flash, just falls back immediately. Doesn't need to take the fight, and he's going to get hunted down here. Falling back real quickly as Burn is also rotating in from Speedway. And ooh! Instantly dinked there, misses the shot, but Burn's going to come around the corner, finds one, looking for more, gets a second kill as well, but will not be able to get a third kill. But Gratisfaction does find Kaze, leaving all on his summer here with a CZ.
And the CZ is not going to be good enough. I have to say that Immunity's use of incendiaries has been perfect. Even the rounds that they've been battered in. Again, you saw there, as soon as Burn goes down, or as soon as he is starting to feel the pinch, instantly incendiary tossed in. They can't force through there, otherwise they're all going to burn alive. And it effectively allows enough time for them to rotate through CT and shoot them in the back. So CZ didn't quite work out, but I don't think it was because of the CZ. Tech 9s probably wouldn't have made any difference.
Side, yeah.
Glass Cannon has been purchased, though, by Flash Gaming.
This is what I found a little questionable about the previous round. I mean, they were anyways going to get a third round loss bonus. They could have just waited it out, had a little bit more utility. Kazi could have had some armor. Lovey and Summer could have had AKs as well. I'm not sure about that buy. Like, and that's something which, I know most Asian teams do it, but I thought, probably Karsa might be a little bit more strict about it. A bit more economically conscious, I'd say. But 8-4, Flash still very much firmly in the lead, and Lovey. A little risky there. There was a guy over in Boiler. And it looks like this time around it's going to be Flash trying to make their way over towards A. Gratisfaction, though, finds Lovey trying to cross over. But still going to be going for the hit here. 3 guys, 3 CDs waiting for this inevitable push to come in from Flash.
Oh, good shot by Gratisfaction. Unfortunately, he's caught in the animation of the AWP and he will fall down. Attacker with 2 gets traded out. Bomb's been dropped in a horrible spot for the terrorists. You hate to see it. Everyone knows that feeling when you realize the bomb has screwed you over. 50 seconds, or there were at least when the bomb went down, now down to 40. And Kaze and Summer have their work cut out for them. Make it just Summer.
It's all down to Mr. Summer himself with the UMP, avoids a flashbang, but it's a pretty nice cross-farbing setup there, and Aerocast just waiting it out, Wizard baiting him perfectly. And that is going to be round number 5 for Immunity. And you can see a little bit of flare coming out from Immunity here, like Gratisfaction getting the first shot, and Burn for the first time, pushing all the way to the bottom of Banana, getting the flank in. And this is what we saw them do against Mongols multiple times yesterday. So Immunity finally waking up, as we do have a tactical timeout getting called by Flash, as the money is looking pretty horrendous. It is the penultimate round of the first half, so they could just go for pistols and armor this time around.
They could. They have a bunch of round loss coming up as well, of course. It's going to be curious to see what they do. I would feel that at least Attacker, Summer, and Karsa would go for something like well, I guess in this case, CZ and armor. But we will see if that's the case. Gives them a bit of power to play with. And that seems to be what the mindset that they have too. Plus a Deagle, which of course is always very prevalent. So down to about $2,000. It's pretty standard stuff. But yeah, you hit that on the head. It seems like Immunity now, they're starting to feel it a little bit more. The confidence may be starting to build. They are doing the plays they did against Mongols with aggression, with actually taking control of the map and not giving everything up to the terrorists and allowing Flash to execute on them over and over again. And that bodes well, because I was getting really worried that they were going to just fall by the wayside because of how timid they were being. So I'm happy that they have adapted things.
And not just for this map, but even in this entire series, if they play timid, Flash is just gonna be stomping them all over. So here we go. Unpause coming in. Flash going to be going for the pistol armor buy. Although Kaze is just with the Deagle. I think he's going to be going for the AWP buy here, potentially for the final round. And it's going to be Wizard pushing in. I love this from Unity. Finally taking the fight to Flash. They know they're not going to have much money. Wizard all the way near T-spawn. And Flash, they're stuck here. They're completely trapped.
Not much they can do about this. And this is what we're talking about, the aggression. Look at all the CTs are. So centralized, so dominant, stamping their authority on this round.
Look at Urkas just jumping around with a flash in hand. Let's still be careful to Kaze with a Desert Eagle. And the C4 has actually made its way towards apps. However, yeah, I like the community. They pushed in, they aggressed, they got that opening kill, did a lot of damage. And now they're falling back all the way to the side. They know they don't have the guns. They know it's probably just pistols and armor. Just falling back, playing it safe. Moe, because they knew they kind of evacuated the A-bomb site, so just checking all the corners again, just in case someone might have made their way into the site or into a pit. But, yep, now they're setting up for their default setup. I wish Immunity had done this a little bit more earlier. Because even though they're waking up now, they've strung 5 rounds in a row here, probably make it 6 rounds. 8 rounds on the T side on Inferno, that's still a massive mountain to climb.
It's still going to be a problem, but I guess better late than never. I do agree. I like the fact they pulled back. I mean, additionally, it's like dual purpose. One, well, we're on the CT side. We don't have to really play aggressive anymore. We've got our casualties. We've done what we need to. And 2, when you're against pistols, up close and personal is where they shine. Pulling back and having your weapons at their efficient range is exactly what you do for the CTs. And it's a solid spray down from Urkast and Moe. He's even got the rare inspection. Just
that's perfect. That is just so perfect.
Yep. Perfect time. But it is going to be a full buy in the last round of this half. Let's see if Flash Gaming can take the 9-6 lead, which would be a really solid T half. Double AWPs, I think I just saw there as well. They dropped one of them at spawn.
They'll probably swap that out later. But, yep, final round coming in for the first half. And Flash, well, from an 8-1 lead to 8-6, Immunity have done a pretty good job coming back into this game. Still, it's not quite done yet. And especially, you know, even though it's just 1 round, 9-6, and oh, I love it, Gratisfaction. Channeling is in a JW, gets the kill on the attacker, and again, the man advantage. You're doing great work just getting the early man advantage here. And as I was saying, 9-6 or 8-7, that makes a big difference.
Yep.
Going to the second half.
Absolutely does. 8-7, sure, it's still a great half for Flash Gaming, but Immunity picked that second pistol up, and I mean, they can run away with it too. Yeah. They can start to break the CT's economy on the other side. But it really has been a tale of 2 quarters, so to speak, in this one. Immunity, no confidence, nothing going their way for the first 7 rounds. Then since then, it's been all their way. And although Karsa did get the kill onto Wizard, and there'll be some questions asked of Urkas as he let his teammate down, at least they do get the avenging kill and take it into a 2-on-4. And now it's all on Kaze. He is a phenomenal AWPer, but he has so many players to find, and Urkas will lay him to rest. Good comeback by Immunity. You can see there, they went on a 6-round win streak towards the end.
Absolutely, and that's just a great comeback, to be honest. And now they give themselves a fighting chance. 8-7. So if they win the pistol round and manage to win the following anti-eco rounds, because now Flash Gaming are going to be the CD side. So if they go and knowing Flash, I think they might just go for the force buy in the second round. And if Immunity can win the pistol round, if they can survive the following 2 anti-eco rounds, they could give themselves a very good chance of taking map number 1. So great showing from Immunity. Flash, on the other hand, on the more favored side, on their map pick. And this is interesting. 5 sets of armor and USP. No kits, no utility whatsoever. Flash is just going for the deals here. And for Immunity, on the other hand, blocks and armor. Urkas going to be taking one for the team, the Indian leader. The sole Mongolian left in the playoffs. He's going to be with the smoke and a flashbang. And here he comes, just charging up towards mid. He's just going to go for the contact play. 3 CDs waiting for them. USBs and armor, Lovey and Kaze. They're going to make contact. They're tapping away as they walk straight into the blender. Bone, are you okay? He's going to fall. Lovey tapping away, gets a kill. Kaze finds another one as well. They're just falling like flies.
It's an odd setup, I've got to say. If you're not going to flash there, trying to battle USPs at medium range is always a cocktail for disaster. As we've seen from Lovey's perspective, the one-taps are a very real thing, and that is one hell of a pistol round. What I will say, though, is Flash Gaming may be a little bit disappointed they conceded a bomb plant. because it's incredibly dominant in terms of kills, but now this does give Immunity options. This does give them a chance. Do they want to force into this one? Do they want to bide their time and get AKs in the next?
I think they're just gonna go for the P250s or maybe just Glocks. But that's the thing, right? Like when you get the bomb down the T side, it leaves the CTs thinking, are they gonna force it up? Or are they just gonna go for Glocks and go for the AKs in the third round? And that decides what their buy is gonna be. But Flash Gaming are gonna go for 3 M4s. They're ready for. I think they're expecting Immunity to go for the full eco here, ready for the AKs. And for Immunity, P250s on every one of them. No flashes, no smokes whatsoever. They're just holding on to the money for the inevitable AK buy coming in the next round. And it's going to be a pop flash from Kaze. And he doesn't blind the man, though, but he spots him out. And it's going to fall back.
Yeah, that pop is designed to flash people behind where the position was. He wasn't expecting to get pushed from second mid, but he's able to scurry away without any loss of life. Cast, not quite the same. He's down to 12. And as you predicted, P250's the order of the day from Unity. Nothing else put into this. No utility, I should say, on their side. So it's going to be raw entrying with the P250s if they want to get anything done.
Well, Flash are playing the anti-eco. They're playing it very, very passively. Apart from Kaze with the UMP. Kind of a disposable gun, but honestly, should really not be looking to lose that gun. Because anything can happen in this Counter-Strike after all. But if you look at the setups like over in A, for example, they're playing it very passively. One guy from deep inside the side. We have, I think that's Attacker playing from Graveyard as well, trying to use the range of the M4s to full effect. And they're going to spot out the players, but it is going to be B-hit coming out here. Born, are you okay? Just feeling out Banana. But they're walking to a crossfire here. Karsa.
Flashbang was actually drilled into the head of the two oncoming Immunity members, but they still get the kill, and now Moe from behind is going to take down one. And this has quickly got into dangerous territory for Flash Gaming. To make matters worse, Gratisfaction can now snake his way into construction as Attacker is watching his backside. Intelligent play, may have heard the footsteps from range. They still have to try and retake this one. Second kill comes down, and that probably is the round now being put out of its misery by Flash Gaming. But again, they concede another bomb plant. They lose 3 players. That is huge for Immunity.
Yeah, I mean, they lose an M4 to UMPs, and that was Attacker just bailing them out. He was just checking every corner possible. Very calm play from him. But around that should have never have... Forget just the bomb getting planted. Like, just went really wrong for Flash there. I don't know how Fancy got taken down. He was playing from New Box and just a P250 straight running in and just pistol things.
Yeah, $300 investment nearly takes down 3 M4s and 2 UMP full buy. Feels CS, man. But they are going to be right back into this. This is the reason why the double bomb plants is such a big deal. 5 Molotovs, 4 smokes, so much utility to use from Unity. And Flash Gaming, if they lose this, they're going to be flat out broke. So this is the chance now for Immunity to bounce back into this map. This is maybe the fulcrum point of this map. If they lose this, then Flash Gaming may just run away with it.
True, and Flash, this is a very interesting, curious setup. They have a guy in the B bomb site, but they have no control over Banana. Instead, they just gambled on the fact it's going to be an A hit. They have 4 guys, and it's going to be Gratisfaction just barreling out through the smoke. Gets the first kill, looking for the second. It's going to be Fancy just holding the line. No, he's going to get taken over by Gratisfaction, and just now 2 guys remaining in the bomb site against 4 terrorists pouring in, and Lovey on top of the box in the smoke, using it as a one-way, gets 2 quick kills. He's somehow still alive, and there's still a guy in the pit, though, and Lovey playing this to perfection. He's been spotted out, though, and he's going to get taken on in the end there by Wizard. Leave it all down to Karsa in a 1v2, but Wizard is very low indeed, so this is a winnable round as well for Flash, as Karsa's going to spot out Gratisfaction, and Malta's going to push him out. He's going to get burned alive here, and Karsa going for the spray, calms down, taps him away. Bomb still not planted. It's still dropped all the way near Pit. And Wizard...
Wow.
Wow, that was so perfectly read by Wizard there.
I mean, that was pixel perfect. He had very little to work off. As soon as he saw anything, spray around head height, lands the headshot. And I was going to say, I think that round had just slipped away from Immunity entirely. They lost a player in that 2v1. The bomb was dropped out in a horrible spot. They had to go out into the open. Wizard was low. And as I mentioned earlier, the economy has taken a massive hit. But Flash Gaming, they are going to force.
Oh my god. All right. Glass Cannon, 3 seizes, at least in the CD side this time. That should make it a little bit more happier. And Fancy. Oh, Kaze playing a dangerous game there. He's got no armor. He's got no backup either. He's going to go for the flick shot. Not gonna quite land it though. He's gonna fall all the way back. One tag from anyone his bullets and his aim just gonna go haywire and he can just get taken down. There's no one close by him as well to go for the trade or at least salvage the AWP. Attacker with the CZ. We've seen what he can do. He's gonna find one, picks up the UMP as well. The two guys coming out from Boiler. They're gonna find another kill, but Grass Faction quickly replying back. 3v3 now, but there's still two guys in the side and Kaze with the top of his. He's got to be a turret here.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have to swat away these pesky terrorists if his team want any chance at taking this round. Should be mentioned the bomb's way back on the T-steps, and Bernard UK is going to go get that one for his team. So it's going to be more of a solo effort by Wizard, who will at least dethrone Kaze in pit, meaning the AWP is now off the table, and you'd have to think so is this round.
That was a very important kill, because Kaze staying alive in pit with an AWP could have just wrecked whatever Immunity had in mind, but there you have it. It is going to be round number 9 for Immunity as Flash Gaming just has a UMP and the CZ remaining. And just going to fall back fancy. Not really fancy going for that fight. Carsa does manage to pick up the UMP, but that's all he'll get. Although, it looks like just waiting for some exits here. He's going to fall back. But Flash, that force buy not quite working. That op needed to go off. He needed to, Kazi needed to get at least like 1, or at the very least 2 kills to make it really count, but just getting taken down. And I wasn't honestly a really big fan of the op just being all alone with no utility, no Kevlar, no armor, nothing, with just a glass cannon. There was nobody nearby him to help him out if he was in a spot of trouble as well.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of high-risk, high-reward plays where, Flash Gaming take down Immunity, they can trade out all the AKs, they can come into the next round like super buff and powered up, but as you say, when the AWP is very much naked on its own, you're going to get pushed down, you're going to get rushed. There's not much you can do to stave off a certain angle. You could see that he had his entire focus on the quad side and gets just rushed straight down from apps. No one's helping him, he can't smoke off apps to make sure it doesn't happen. And now it's going to be a tactical timeout, this time for Flash Gaming. When you consider this game started at a rampant 8-1 at one stage, to Flash Gaming on their CT side, you're thinking, okay, this map probably is a bridge too far for Immunity. 10-9, and they've got Flash Gaming on the ropes.
Yeah, this is the great stuff for Immunity. Like 8-1, unless the team would have kind of capitulated and they'd be like, you know what, let's just let this map go away. We'll play it on our next map, just overpass. We'll probably could do better over there. But Immunity showing some cojones, as Dust would like it, and, bringing it back.
Dust likes his cojones,
Dust
let me tell you.
loves his cojones. It's a very American thing, is what I've been told.
Yep.
That's awesome. But 10-9 here, Flash taking the tactical timeout, stalk things through, trying to understand what they're going to do. They do have the 2 UMP saved, so they can try something here. But Immunity, they seem to have woken up. Very similar Immunity we saw yesterday. Like, they had a rough start to the day, and then they just completely steamrolled all over the Mongols.
Yeah. Major props. Still not over, though. We're talking about Flash being on the ropes and them struggling. They're still on the CT side. They haven't really had a solid economy so far. They've been constantly hit or miss, very sketchy, patchy by full assault rifles with full nades. So I would say that Flash Gaming still have a few lifelines left, but there's no doubting the momentum in this map has certainly switched. It's certainly shifted.
Absolutely. That's a lovely chicken.
Just headbutting the wall. Not the smartest of chickens, so.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's just like staring at the wall and wondering, like, why can't I go through it? But
probably how Flash Gaming are feeling right now. Just ramming their head against the wall, wondering what the hell's going on.
PGL production, absolutely on point. A great representation of what Flash are probably thinking about.
It's actually technical issues as well. So I thought originally, I think it may have
it was a
started
tactical pause.
Yeah, and then clearly there are some deeper concerns and issues that they are currently facing off. What we can see is that 2 UMPs are still at play. Of course, they were saved from the previous round. Kaze's down to $500, so that suggests to me this is going to be a force.
Yep, Attacker buying up Kevlar, the CZ getting dropped, I think either from Karsa or from Summer as well. This is questionable, I'd say. I mean, what do they plan to get out of this? Why don't they just like save up? They still have a 1-round lead, save up a little bit of money, just play the long game.
I think it may have been a case, because Kaze went for the AWP in the last round, he was just flat out broke, so they'd have to double eco anyway. Is maybe their thought process. And while they have 2 UMPs and have to probably double eco anyway, this, however, could put Immunity in an 11-10 lead with Flash Gaming. That round is absolutely essential for Flash Gaming. If they lose that, they are
Boned chicken, I'm hungry.
Mate, we had some epic food yesterday. I'm
Oh,
still
yeah.
kind of edible food. Definitely check it out.
Absolutely. I did have a great time in the city yesterday, although it was kind of
Yeah.
short, like all of us are kind of tired and whatnot, but so it is technical issues, but Kaze, average of $1,900 in all of them, and the fact that he's gone for the armor buy, and maybe it was a misbuy or something.
I'm not sure what's going on inside the mind. That yeah, but if he's got $500, you assume he's going to go for the CZ/57. I'm not sure what Kaze prefer. The $500 being expended. Then again, Casa and Summer have enough to even drop a UMP and pick another one up.
Although I think they're trying to keep at least the $2,000.
Yeah, that would make sense. See, everything would make sense to me, other than Kaze's decide to buy the Kevlar. That is the outlier for me personally.
Which is interesting. But for Immunity, though, the money, they still need to start, to ensure they do comfortably get in the lead, they need to start still building a little bit more economy. Although, yes, it is a T side. It's much more. So many players alive is going to help them out as well. The op on Gratis Faction. Everyone's been like...
That's a very fair point. He was actually one of the standout players for me. Not just for Immunity, but the guy like Bentet and also Nifty as being one of the players of the tournament. Burn RUK had a real strong case for himself yesterday, but he hasn't been able to keep that form up. Had he have, then we could be in a position now where Immunity are on the brink of victory, because he was that huge on the B side, on the CT side, when the roles were reversed. In terms, okay, well, we've got a bit of downtime. I'm not sure how long we're going to be filling for, so let's use your expertise on this region, this area. A vast area, it must be said. It's hard to say like Asia's a small place. It's pretty huge.
It's pretty huge.
Are there any players that have really stood out to you for positive or negative reasons that have really shone or maybe shied away from the expectations you had coming into this?
I think the first name I got to bring up is obviously Bentet, because many people, when no one knew about this guy till like August of last year. Like in less than a year, he's he's playing in Tyloo, who's like really stepping it up and whatnot. But more than a year back, no one really knew about him. And he comes on the scene. He has like crazy stats on online games, and he played for an Indonesian team, NXL, and then later on Reka, which is also an Indonesian team. But everyone's like, yeah, just like farming kills online games against lesser, weaker opponents. Until we finally see him join Tyloo. And everyone still had questions, like, he's still not a proven player, right? He looks really good, solid, yeah, but how is he on LAN? And then we see the China Cup where Fnatic Academy came. And he just completely wrecked Fnatic Academy in the finals. And I'm like, okay, this guy is legit as hell. And he's proven the fact that, no matter who he's facing off against, online LAN, this guy is a consistent beast. And that's an important word here, is consistent. Because we've seen players who have had ups and downs. Nifty really exploded today. He had the game of his entire career in Renegades, for example, right? But we didn't see much from him in previous days. True. Likewise from many other players, like Cabal had crazy moments, but then he was nowhere against these guys. But Benton is just like every single game, he's on point. As I think we are going live here. Finally, we will be resuming.
To be continued.
To be continued.
We'll pick that back up if we have more issues. It was a headset issue that has been fixed, so we're back into the action. Round 20. On Flash Gaming, Kaze did go for a CZ, so that's going to deplete all of his funds. We shall have to see how the economy shapes up going through into the next few rounds. It does give them quite a bit of power, though. The spike is there for them in this round. It's not a gimme for Immunity. They're going to have to be careful and walk on eggshells.
Indeed, they are. And yeah, like you mentioned, everyone's money is still in $2,000. Kaze, the only guy, is bottom of the CZ as well. So this is a round considering what they've invested in this, I would like them to at least get something out of it, at least get a few kills even if you don't get the round. But Immunity is slowing things down a little bit. They know that this is it's going to be a pretty weird round for Flash Gaming. They're not very sure if they're going for the force buy, considering it is a Chinese team. Usually it's a personal thing. I'm usually not a big fan of the CTs playing very default setups when you're on an eco or kind of a 4C buy. Might as well try to catch the T's off guard rather than just playing default spots. And Attacker all alone in the site. Arcast dude. But in the meantime, he's got to get the headshot to Kaze with the last bullet of his. An Attacker trying to be sneaky, but finally gets found out. And yeah, the bomb site has been compromised. It's all down to Fancy and Lovey, and they should be falling back here.
Yeah, and I also definitely agree with what you're saying about, if you're on pistols, you're on these kind of purchases, maybe just try something gimmicky, maybe just try a stack. But maybe that's an insight as well to the confidence that Flash Gaming have, where they come through and they're like, we got a CZ against AKs. We still fancy ourselves to win this round. We still feel like we're supremely confident in our own ability, that we don't have to try something gimmicky. We can just play default and still win. Unfortunately, that will be proven to be incorrect, as they just got smashed. But I like the idea. I like the bravado. Someone's going to try and save his UMP again. Lovey only with a P250. This is a minimal investment. He can just look for exit frags.
Yep, and I think they're the third round in a row they've lost here, so they should be getting, what, $2,400. So they can go for the buy, but I would imagine, like, if I was Cars, I would just be asking for a double save here. But nope, they're going to go for it.
So what does Kaze have in this round? He's got 2.4k. The P90 with
No armor.
Kevlar.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is that?
Let's go, boys. Asian Counter-Strike, let's go.
I am genuinely perplexed. Mate,
This reminds me of 2014 when I started casting Asian Counter-Strike. I'm like, what is going on?
Blair, just hold me. I need some comfort right now. What even is
Welcome
that?
to my pain that I've been going through for such a long time.
Just watch him get the highlight reel worthy, like, ace, spray down, prove us all wrong, of course.
Burn, though. He's going to get the first kill. Costa replies back. Lovey chimes in with a frag of his own as well. 3 guys left alive here on what has been a very interesting buy. I still haven't seen Kazi in action yet. He's got the P90, and he's going to be playing from the side. Why the hell not? And they're going to be walking in straight into his jaws here. I just wanted to see him like get a triple man spray down and just shut all of us up.
Yeah, I kind of do too, just for the, you know, the self-loathing that I'll feel if he does get any kills with this P90.
He's got to attack it, though. And we do have Lovey quietly making his way towards library. And he can actually spot out. It's all going to come down to timing, but are they going to cross on over towards Arches is the question. Lovey playing it very safe. He's not going to be peeking out from library. Smoke's going to come in. The Molotov is going to push him back as well. And Kaze crouch inside of the site. Attackers out in the open. He's going to land some sick headshots here and immediately finds satisfaction. But Trade is going to come in. Urkaz's going to get the kill, but Carson is going to find Moe. And a P90 is going to do the work. He gets the kill. 2 HP, but doesn't really matter now, does it? He makes it work.
Trades out to the AK straight away, of course. Does not want to keep that weapon with no Kevlar, but yeah. You can't really call that play the Kaze. Like, if he got 2 or 3 kills,
Yeah.
then we could have coined it the Kaze. Please, kids, don't try this at home, by the way. You will
Please.
tilt people in matchmaking on your team. For sure. But he's transitioned across to the AWP. This is more like it. Now my brain can rest easy.
I'm slightly disappointed that he's relinquished the P90. Slightly, like a little bit. Yeah.
Some people just want to see the world burn, don't they?
Yes, yes they do. Yes they do, Matthews. Molotovs is raining in from both teams, and they will keep both teams at bay, but it's going to be contact play coming in. The Molotov has actually isolated the one guy there, and it's going to be burned. He's still going to get the kill, however. The trade will come in real quickly, but it's going to be fast A play. They know that at least a couple of guys low in the B bombs, so by the attacker using the smoke to perfection. He's going to find Urk as the bomb spotter as well. Goes for the spray, not able to quite land a shot though, but it's still a guy in the site. It's going to be Kaze, who gets the shot out in the open. That was a very weird position from him, leaving it down to a 2v2. Lovey, though, gets a shot onto Moe. Perfect flank there, and now it's all on the Wizard. What can he do, Harry?
No control of the bomb. He does get it right now, though. 55 seconds left. Can he watch from Boiler? Lovey's there. Gets traded off, though, one-on-one. And can Wizard pull off another clutch? Remember, he did win a 1v2 earlier on with less health than this, with a beautiful headshot partially through the wall on Arches, where Carcer currently is. He has time as well. There's no great rush to get this plant. And is he really thinking about rotating to B?
That would be cojones.
How is he even moving with balls that heavy?
He's going to go for it. He is going to go for it. And Karsa, is he going to read this as well? I think he has an inkling, but he's still going to stick to one side. And Karsa's doing the right thing. Just commit to a side.
Costa's done this 100% what I would do in his position, and many people would. And now he's about to face desk. Bomb has been planted. It's not A.
Your headsets
I
are
hate
working fine.
everything about this game.
Your headsets are working fine, Karsa, but my word. Wizard. Just what a play from him. And he just might catch Karsa off guard. Great headshot, the 1v2. You're right, he pulled off some magic out of his hat. And immunity to tie things up. Flash Gaming's money is not looking great whatsoever. Oh, this is painful for Flash.
Please don't force. Fair enough. Caster's going to drop some CZs. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. What was Kaze doing out there? Like, he needed to stay alive, not just go for a kill there. And Wizard, though, like, he played that to perfection. How did he... Indeed, how did he make his way to Banana with testicles that big? Dust must be like super happy right now. He's like, here we go.
Dust is watching this with a huge grin on his face.
You, my friend, are not Australian. You're an American.
There you go. Full
But
CZs.
yeah, 5 seasons. Oh yeah, I think it was Karsa dropping it for.
Yeah,
Dust.
Carsa had
Yeah.
like 5k or just shy of 5k, so he dropped a bunch of CZs to his team, who most of them were skint, had very little money to play with. They did have a flash, I think that's just been tossed out, so now it's just raw CZ power.
Let's see what they can do here. It's gonna be, well, great read from Unity. It's gonna be a B hit. There's just one guy waiting there, Karsa. Not exactly well known for his aiming skills, more known for his brains, and he will be spotted out. Fancy camera movement as he will fall back. And Urkas, though, wrapping around, gets the kill, is looking for more, just try and make that dirty SMG money. Picks up another one, and this round is done. Dusted Immunity are going to be in the lead, but Summer showing what he can do with a CZ.
It is a very powerful, potent weapon in the right hands, as Summer has just shown us firsthand, but well, as expected, as anticipated, the rest of his team have been curbed away. Bomb planted, looking for exits. Nothing else really on the cards. That being said, though, next round will yield them a bye, but it may not be a great one, as they only have 1 round of loss bonus coming in. So, you know, I say a bye, but looking at that economy now, you got 3.3k, 3.6. It's going to be another pistol.
You know what? Respect where it's due. They finally decide to go for a double eco, try and save up that money, get that utility going, have the rifles, you know, give your players the weaponry to work with, not having to make do with UMPs all the time. And for Immunity, though, they're in the lead. And this has been an impressive comeback. 8-1 was a score line for those of you just tuning in right now. And this has been just very impressive stuff coming out from the Australians.
I think for Flash Gaming, that's going to be a bit of a concern is that Molly completely derps, bounces off the wall onto the roof. I don't think Flash Gaming have actually even got close to winning a round like this with these pistols. They've been very toothless when it came to the CZs, the Deagles, that sort of thing. All their rounds have really came off the back of rifles. So that's going to be a concern going through into the latter stages, because right now pistols are widely, you know, touted as being incredibly overpowered and you can constantly take down AKs. Maybe this is the time, but nope, attacker's going to get denied with an AK round to the head. And in the blink of an eye, 4 players will fall for Flash Gaming. Karsa and a CZ in a world of hurt.
That was clinical. That was just clinical Immunity. Great entry, just pouring out, and those pistols could do a lot of damage at that range of CZs and whatnot.
yeah.
But just like they had every angle covered, and Flash Gaming just got completely wrecked, as Red Eye would say. 13-11, and Immunity now 3 rounds away. 3 rounds away from taking this map, which is Flash's pick. And everyone on the desk, all of us thought it's going to be a 2-0 to Flash Gaming. This is impressive stuff coming out from Immunity.
And this is their choice of map. This is Flash Gaming's choice
Yeah.
of map, and they are on the brink of losing. Kaze does have an AWP, but he's been exceptionally quiet. I think he's only got 9 kills so far. Yeah, he's 9-14, and this is a guy, you said yourself, one of the best, if not the best, Asian sniper, and he just hasn't shown up here on Inferno.
He just hasn't shown up at all. Like, of the two biggest roster changes or like pickups that we've seen in Asia in the past year, I'd say, has been Bentet and Kaze, and Bennett has proven his worth time and time again. Like, the guy is worth his weight in gold for Ty Lu. But Kaze, though, I mean, this is a game he really needs to step up. He's been entrusted with it off. He needs to make it sing, and it's going to be attacker, though. Gets the first kill. Kaze's again going to fall, and Gratisfaction goes to the spray. Not able to get the kill, though, and it's going to be Fancy coming to the rescue. Picks up 2 quick kills, 2v3 now, and the Molotov, however, is going to keep Fancy at bay. The bomb still making its way over, as Burn is going to find Lovey in the pit. That's a Danger Man taken out of the equation, and Fancy's at 8 HP, internally bleeding. But the bomb is still inside a pit. It still needs to get planted. And look at that flank coming in from Fancy. That is very smart indeed.
As you say, though, he's very low, so just a stray bullet will end him. Karsa, double dink onto the headshot, and Summer, AK Fancy from Apps will do the rest. Flash Gaming just about dodge out of this round and take it for themselves. 13-12, still a few more chapters to be written and woven into this tale yet. But Immunity comes straight back in with another purchase.
And I kind of feel a little bad for Kazi. I'm like, you need to show something up, and he immediately gets taken down again. Something is not working out for Kaze. It's 26 rounds. He's a primary operator. They've literally dropped an op every single opportunity they can get. Even when they go for the first, but like Kaze, here's the op. Do something with it. But he's just not showing up. And if Immunity do come out on top in this map, and if you ask me, or if you ask anyone, like what went wrong there for Flash, I think it was just Kaze just was impotent, I'd say, in this map.
Can certainly not disagree with that statement. He has been kind of just pushed out of this. Maybe Immunity, some of the praise should go to them. They've just totally countered him with the constant nades in mid, not allowing him to get himself to tee off, but the kills are coming in thick and fast, and in actual fact, 4 of them go the way to Flash Gaming, make it 5. And the man that we were just highlighting, Kaze, with a quick fire 3K, just to keep us quiet for a few more moments.
I think you heard this.
Hey, mate, if you heard us and you reacted, why wasn't this happening earlier in the map? Why just now? Is he just trying to like give, you know, the Australians, the New Zealanders a bit of false sense of security before he comes in and just stamps all their hopes and dreams out? He's like, okay, here's a chat. Nah, just kidding. Now I'm going to show up and start wrecking you.
But he finally does get to double digits. He was the last guy to still be stuck in single digits. And here we go. He's on 12 kills. We have a tactical timeout getting called by Immunity immediately. Like literally, the second they lost that round, they're calling for the tactical timeout. Scores are tied. Money is not that great for Immunity. This is a tough decision. They go for this force, and if it doesn't work out, things are going to look rough because that means Flash can get to map point. But on the other hand, if they go, for the savior, Flash are 1 round closer to getting to at least guaranteeing overtime or guaranteeing match point. So, decisions to be made. What would you do, Matus, in this scenario? Go for the eco.
Yes, I think I would go for the eco. It depends how much they want to prioritize the AWP. And Gratis Factions had a lot of them. They're going to decide against it, but that was a last-second call, and they even called tactical timeout, as you mentioned, to do this. I suppose their thought process is this gives them 2 shots at it as opposed to just the 1. But of course, this is hamstringing themselves in the sense of Gratis Faction, who has been getting a lot of opening picks, only has a UMP. Burnout UK, does he only have a P250?
Yeah, he's still got $2,000, I think.
That's why I'm so confused right now. Yeah, he has 2K, and he's going to hold on with the P250.
Oh, this is a very, very risky buy coming out from Immunity. If they lose this, he's just going to have the 3rd round loss bonus. Ooh, Kaze with the wall bang there takes Burn down to 47 points of health. Fortunately for Immunity, Burn's a guy with a P250, so, you know.
And I suppose it is the most expendable of the weapons, and Burnout UK is going to be trying to funnel his way over onto the B side. They're going to take no prisoners straight through onto the site. Gratis Faction with the UMP and has done wonders, taking down Kaze. And of course, now they can trade into an AWP. Flash Gaming, really? You're about to lose to this kind of a buy?
What
Maybe
have you done?
not. Maybe not.
Oh, Moe replying there with that AWP of his 3v4. They don't even have a kit to work with. They need to go for this retake real quickly. Lovey still spraying through the smoke, trying to find something. And they have used up all the utility here. Attacker just trying to go for the white peak. Gets a headshot into Urkas. He knows there's an AWP as well onto Moe. Looking for more spots on the guy. Moe's going to get the kill onto Summer. Now it's a 2v3. They have picked up the kit onto Attacker though, but it's all going to be down to Attacker. 1v3, finds 1 kill. There's no time remaining.
That's it, it's done.
And somehow Immunity off the back of a very questionable buy. They're going to go in the lead here. And that was just... that was just such a questionable hold from Flash in the B-bomb side. Kaze was all alone in the B-bomb side with the AWP, and the second his teammate got smoked off, he was just isolated completely.
Yeah. What I will say, though, a slight saving grace for Flash Gaming is they weren't able to take the AWP out of this round. Immunity lost both their remaining players on the site as they're playing for the outright win, as opposed to saving their weapons. So their buy here isn't great again. They're going to have UMP, they're going to have a lack of an AWP. That being said, Flash Gaming have to full-on purchase themselves. This is the moment where Immunity, if they take down Flash Gaming, they're going to have pistols and not much else in the next round. This could be it. Flash Gaming on the brink of losing their own map.
This is just going to be huge. In my opinion, the biggest upset so far in the tournament, even though it's just going to be just 1 map. Flash Gaming, 3 UMPs, 2 M4s, have decent some utility with them. There are lots of, couple of incendiaries, 3 smokes still in play, a couple of flashbangs, and they do have the kit onto Attacker. So this round, if Immunity win this one, they pretty much guarantee themselves the map. It's going to be 16-13, unless Flash pull off something truly miraculous here. But
yeah.
Immunity and Flash actually playing very passively now. They're just playing way at the back. I'm not sure that's going to be useful here.
I mean, to put things in perspective, Flash Gaming literally have $0 across the entire team. They've spent everything.
Yeah.
Every single penny at their disposal. So they lose this, They're up the creek without a paddle. Summer's going to go for the flash. He's going to land on one player. It's just going to stave off the push for a little while longer. Only 2 flashes remain out for the Chinese squad. Hoping for the best. 35 seconds. Here comes the push. Grannis Faction's going to land it onto Karsa. And Kaze at the back of the site with the UMP. Not really the perfect position for this weapon anymore. Flashbangs are landing, but he actually lands the headshot onto Wizard. And the bomb's out in a horrible spot as well. 18 seconds left. That could be the determining factor in this round.
Oh my god.
Oh, not like this, Immunity. You're
Oh
not
my
lose the
god.
round because of a bomb drop. Yes, they do. And Flash Gaming have pulled it back to 14 apiece. And now it's Immunity that have no money. That mistake is absolutely terrifying a prospect to be feeling right now.
Oh, they're gonna be gutted. They're just gonna be gutted. That kill from Kaze, that's it, the bomb. What was the bomb doing so deep? What? Oh my god. And that is how you punch yourselves in the testicles.
And for Wizard, who has massive ones, extra pain. So, self-inflicted misery.
Kaze's, you know, it's kind of ironic that although we've been like, Kaze's not been feeling it, he literally saved them that round. That one kill on the C4 carrier, and my god.
I mean, when we highlighted it, he was on 9 for 14. He's now 15 and 16. So he has been stepping up these last couple rounds when it's really counted. And I feel like the majority of those 5 kills have been very impactful. But it's now on a razor's edge and Immunity.
Oh, the money is
They've
wrecked.
gone for it. They've gone for it. They've gone for Tech 9s.
Well, this is it. This is it.
It's do or die.
It's do or die.
And how depressing would that be for Immunity if they came so close to taking Flash Gaming's choice of map away, so close to giving themselves a huge opportunity, and then they stumble on the last hurdle. And a lot of it is down to their own mistake.
That was such a small little thing, just a tiny little thing, just the C4 carrier, just had to get into the site. Even if it got dropped there, it's fine, you can pick it up, but my god, that was awkward indeed. It's going to be Kaze, he's going to be feeling a lot of pressure, he's going to fall back immediately, getting hunted down with those Tech 9s, and it's going to be Urkaz just barreling in with the Tech 9, gets the kill, and it's all going to come down to lobby here with an M4, goes for the spray, finds a double kill, but Wizard in the meantime, is he going to get the kill, tapping away, finds a double of his own as well. Now it's a 2v3. How triggered are you right now?
I can't handle it. I cannot handle this. Flash Gaming, the map was yours. What are you doing? Karsa and Soma are still alive, though. And while they're alive, this round hasn't quite reached its conclusion yet. Flash Gaming. 2 separate angles of aggression back onto the site. Very much isolated. Karsa's going to be coming in first. Tries to shoot his teammate, of course. Not really going to help matters, but Summer is going to go for 1 kill, and Wizard finishes off Karsa. 15 to 14. And now it's Flash Gaming's turn to force up with pistols. And as I highlighted earlier, they have not been successful in these rounds yet.
The difference between the force buys from Immunity and the force buys from Flash have been Immunity have actually gone for something crazy. Just pushing in mid, just, you know, they're anyways on the back foot, they just have pistols and armor. Try something with it. You know, try using a numbers advantage. Just press in with the Tech 9, run and do something. Flash, on the other hand, whenever they go for these pistol armor buys, they're just stuck in default positions. No, you know, not really trying to catch Immunity off guard. So, 15 to 14. Well, as tilted as you might be, Matus, it has definitely been an interesting game. Interesting map.
It's been entertaining. I'm sure from the neutrals they've been loving it. But it definitely hasn't been a showcase for CS at its finest. I think that's safe to say too. Flash Gaming though. Got 3.5k on Kaze. They've gone for CZs on both Attacker and Karsa. Lovey's probably in a similar boat himself. Summer's probably in a similar boat. So what does Kaze go for here? Does he just implement more utility? Or does he go for maybe something like a UMP?
I think a UMP and an armor would make... I'm sorry, UMP and utility would make more sense in this particular juncture. Lovey hasn't bought a bite, so it's on 2k.
Maybe he's just going to go back to the good old P90 no armor. Let's go, boys. He's done it once so far.
If Kaze does go for a P90 and armor though, because he's got a little bit of money, and armor, and they win this round because of that.
Yep.
I really wouldn't know what to say. I don't know where I was going with that, but I...
No, it would be that shocking that I would be alongside you. Probably just sit here in silence for a few moments.
Yeah. Pure respect.
Going into overtime, not knowing what the hell life even is, contemplating our own existence.
What is life even? Like, I think Anders would be right there. Yeah, it's a simulation.
Yeah. Anders is really obsessed with that simulation idea. I'm not sure what to make of it sometimes.
Attacker, by the way, is on 28 kills.
Yeah.
That is just massive. And
Behind him. So it's now technical issues, apparently. And it's Immunity that have the technical problems.
and transition into the
Yep.
technical timeout here.
So should we continue with our conversation? Oh, apparently it was a technical issue from the start, but we're informed in technical all along. Pretty horrible time to have some PC issues, though. 15-14.
I think
Everything on the
I think it
balance.
really helped out Flash more than Immunity, because obviously Immunity would just want to press on.
Yeah,
But now Flash have
definitely.
some breathing space. All right, take a breather. We just need to win one more round to take it overtime, because overtime's anyone's game. And what I'm looking forward to see is, I haven't seen this from Flash yet. I haven't seen those crazy pushes, you know, the all-out aggression, like 5 guys pushing into Banana, or like 4 guys battling out mid. We haven't seen that yet from Flash in this entire tournament. But now with the backs against the wall and just one round remaining for Immunity to take map number 1, might Karsa finally crack and say, you know what, screw it. Screw textbook CS. We're just going to try something completely, utterly bonkers. And might it just work out?
It really does come down now to what's Carter's plan. Is it throw the textbook out the window, just go ham? Is it let's just stick to what the call has been throughout? As I said before, it hasn't been efficient, it hasn't been effective. These standard pistol rounds have not been working for Flash Gaming on either side, but especially not on the CT side. And I feel like they've had 4 or 5 of them now. So maybe we will see something completely out of left field. The thing is, though, as you say, with this pause, does this start to create the mind games, the reverse psychology for Flash Gaming? Because Immunity, I mean, sure, they want to win this round, but if they don't, they at least have the knowledge of knowing, well, we haven't lost the map. Worst case scenario now is we go into overtime. Flash Gaming, they're facing up the very real possibility that they're going to go through into Immunity's choice of map 1-0 down.
Yeah, absolutely. So Immunity definitely have the upper hand here, mentally, weaponry-wise as well. And for Flash, well, you can see the buy there, I think, on the screen. So UMP getting bought up by Kaze, and he's going to drop it, in fact. That's interesting.
Yeah, trading it out to 2 UMPs now for both himself and Karsa. Lovey still hasn't bought.
I would honestly, like, you know, although Karsa has kind of turned up today, I would just give whatever weaponry they have over to Attacker. He's really been on point right now.
Yeah, give Attacker the UMP, take the CZ from him, for sure. Karsa also does have a CZ, so I'd expect to see that drop to either Summit or Lovey so they can get more utility. He has that as a sidearm.
Let's talk a little bit about you casting Asian CSGO. Obviously, you know, most people would have known you for casting, like, you know, EU games, a little bit of North American games as well. How much of a culture shock, or rather Counter-Strike shock, has it been for you, Mathiz? Like, how does it feel to be in my world?
It's both exciting and terrifying all at once, but we can get back on that emotional roller coaster right here, right now, Blair, because we're about to go back live. The CZ was not actually dropped from Karsa, which is so surprising to me because now Summer has to go in for a P250 instead. And he has a primary, he has a UMP.
It's so surprising that the 2 players who have the UMP wouldn't be the guys I would personally pick to carry the 2 wheelers to SMGs at this point in time. But Karsa and Kaze, let's see what they do with this. They have 4 smokes, no kits whatsoever. And Immunity, they seem to be committed to this B bomb site. They're not going to waste any time. They just want to finish this off as quick as possible. They just might walk into the stack with 3 guys waiting for them. And then there's CZ, smokes raining in. Kaze completely blinded, boosted up on Flower Pot. Needs to get something here. It's going to be Burn, pushing in, using the smoke to his advantage. Kaze's going to get the first kill, drops down to Molotov, a little too late. Karsa's going to get a kill as well. And it's going to be Lovey, finds one in the smoke. Is he going to stay alive? Yes, he is somehow. But in the end, he will fall to Wizard. 2v3 now. Bombs still get to go down. What just happened?
I'm at a loss for words, Blair, but what we do know is if we take stock of the situation, 45 seconds thereabouts on the timer. There's no rush to plant the bomb just yet, and they're going to be very cognizant of the fact they're going to have 3 CTs that are going to come out the woodwork as soon as they hear that bomb being planted. So I like that Immunity, They're keeping their nerve here. They're keeping calm. They're looking for a couple of picks before they go and fully commit to that bomb plant. But in doing so, they're going to walk out into Kaze's UMP spray. Moe, all that remains, he's been tagged on the cross. But Attacker is now going to be trying to get himself around the back. 20 seconds left. And Moe! What a one-tap that is onto Attacker. Beautiful work. And that secures the first map for Immunity. But it was looking so sketchy.
What was that shot? Holy. What do you say to that, Matthias? I really have no words. That's first.
I'd say that is both the most insane map of CS I've casted in a while, and in some ways the sloppiest.
Definitely entertaining, though.
But entertaining, 100%. I don't think that can be denied. So now we move through to the second map, which will be Overpass. Immunity's choice. They've been pretty successful on this event. And Flash Gaming are eyeing up the very real possibility that they're going to get knocked out, or at least knocked down, and not progress through to the next stage just yet.
This is just, I think everything has been turned upside down today. Like Renegades winning, although it was a very, very close affair, but everyone expected Flash to take this 2-0. But Immunity really showing them cojones, as Das looked like it. And I'm just repeating this too many times. But yeah, I don't know what the panel's going to say about this. This has been just a crazy game back and forth. But Immunity, credit where it's due. Some crazy, huge clutch plays coming out from them in the end. And Moe, and they're just closing it out in style with a one-tap. But crazy game overall, yeah.
Definitely. Speaking of the panel, they are currently waiting to break down that first map. So take it away, guys.
Thank you very much. I don't know about everyone, Blair. There were a few Australians out there who weren't assured that this was a 2-0 to Flash Gaming, but nevertheless it definitely won't be after a win for Immunity. What a surprise on the desk. Let's find out whether they are surprised. There's a lot of kahunis going around, Dust.
Yeah, who's really addicted to it? I don't think it's me. I think they're definitely coming up with it way more than me.
Yeah.
So let's just think about that for a second. But again, I guess I'm not that surprised because I think we talked about this pregame a little bit. It's scary to pick Flash as a favorite when there's so many unknown values.
Yep.
This is the first time they've been tested and they failed. I mean, in the clutch is the biggest thing here. I mean, how many times did Wizard clutch against them? Then you have Moe obviously come up with the clutch here at the very end to close out the game and win it in regulation right before you thought it would slip into overtime. So it felt like in high pressure situations, Immunity was actually handling it much better than Flash, who had a huge lead and let it slip.
Yeah, 8-1 up, and then you end up losing at 14-16. That's super disappointing, and I think you hit a nail in the head there. A lot of it came down to a lot of close rounds. It was Wizard was definitely my revelation of this game, and he's been playing great through the tournament. It's just like his composure in those situations when it's like a 1-on-2. He's so calm and collected. You know, every move seems to be very calculated. It's fun to watch seeing someone that you haven't really noticed before to really be playing super smart in a game of Counter-Strike.
And this is a new guy. He hasn't had that much time to settle in with this team. I think he's only played maybe a handful of online matches in one of the Australian online leagues. Obviously, Destiny was playing with them still during the qualification process for this minor. So great to see, you know, the new guy to the team. You know, standing in was kind of the official word. But obviously, if you're Immunity, you're probably thinking we want to hold on to this guy because he's definitely been delivering for the team.
I mean, the other guy's sitting at home going, oh, crap. This guy's playing really well. I might lose my place in this team at this rate.
Or is he going to be shipped into NA?
Yeah, maybe.
He speaks
You're just
English.
trying to flog everyone from Asia to NA teams. I've seen the tweets, Natu. Don't lie.
I mean, you know.
He's been trying to ship everyone out to NA.
There's a lot of people getting calls from the NA scene, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the name of the game. But yeah, I mean, this is the first time we saw, you know, Flash definitely struggling. Beginning of the game, they actually had a good game plan going on. They kept hitting that B bomb site a lot, you know. Then eventually that would lock a secondary guy from Immunity to that B bomb site. But then it's starting to kind of, maybe they lost their focus a little bit. Could be a factor in there. I'm not sure. Then this round started getting much more closer, and they were on the tail end of the situations where it came down to those 2-on-2s, and that's where Immunity was eventually the better team, was all the clutches, and that's something. It's fun to say because a lot of Australian teams, if you go back in history and watching a lot of these minors, other tournaments, teams like Renegades are usually have been the ones that have struggled in those kind of situations. It's cool to see that Immunity is actually being the one that is coming out on top.
Yep, absolutely. We're on the verge now of looking at this as potentially an all-Australian upper bracket final, which is not something we discussed too much earlier on today. We were talking about China being number 1, of course, and potentially number 2. The MVP presented by the Mummy this time around is Wizard. 5.26 impact, 29 for 17. Top score on the So 8 trade kills, great performance in that particular thing, and 6 retakes post-plant kills as well.
Those 2 clutches are also big, and that's part of those retake and post-plant kills that you're looking at there on the screen. He, especially that particular, I think it was a 1v2 or 1v3 he had when he snuck all the way back around to the B-bombs. That is a big round to win. And I think the key thing here is you juxtapose this performance from Wizard as well as the fact that a lot of other guys on Immunity stepped up. It's not as if he was like this hard carry and it was a top-heavy performance. But you look over at the other side, you look over at the Flash, where were the other people? I mean, you had Kaze. Kaze was really missing. He started to pick it up there towards the end, but he definitely was quiet most of the game. Even Summer wasn't necessarily, as flashy as you expected. I felt like Karsa was making more big plays than some of the star players on the team, and so you have to kind of wonder a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'd be looking at the Opera as well, Kaze, because he has to be the kind of player on a map like Inferno where you can really dictate the game too. I mean, it's easy to be super mobile. You can be everywhere on the map. Banana for a pick, you go middle, play aggressive. You have teammates flashing for you. Go apartments. So there's a lot of things you can do in this map to make it harder for the T side. But he was very, very much absent.
Wasn't a lack for opportunities as well. They gave him the AWP pretty much every single time they could afford to do it. And yeah, you're right. Like on the CT side especially, you can dictate the pace of the game as an Opera on this map. You see many playmakers being able to do it, and he just didn't seem very comfortable at all throughout this game.
I have a tip for him. Watch Alu demos. I'm not being patriotic here, but he's actually really, really good Inferno CT side Opera.
And very dynamic as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the difference for me, is you look back over the last 18 months and you look at the Orpers before and what they were doing at the start of CSGO, if you like, through to the sort of first half of it, and it was that they were very passive and they would be almost static. They would cover, Banana would be like, well, I'm AWPing Banana. It's what I'm doing, right, for the whole game.
Yeah.
Now it's much more dynamic. You're seeing them on all sorts of... Mirage is a great example where you see an AWPer just change position all over the map, change bomb sites, change position on the bomb sites, be aggressive, be passive, mixing it up, which keeps the other team from attacking you all the time in the same places where you're weak.
But you know what the hard part is? It's the fact that it's borderline stupid and genius. That's why it's so hard to replicate.
We're back to that again. Okay, we're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, though, we'll be headed in to Game 2, where Immunity are on the verge of reaching the upper bracket final to play their brethren from Australia.